afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here today. As you can see, it's a very, very special day for us. The students of the Mitha Municipal School had had fun and the joy of reading. And how, they learned in a fun way how important it is to learn to read. They couldn't have heard it from anyone better than the celebrated star and UNICEF India celebrity advocate Kareena Kapoor Khan, who's sitting here with us, and a celebrity with a commitment and who cares to come today and spend this time, this memorable time with children. Thanks, Kareena, uh, our UNICEF celebrity advocate. The children were so enthusiastic, so eager to tell her story and listen to her story. They formed a circle around her when we entered the room, and I was seeing that the circles becoming smaller and smaller and closer, and they really had good fun. We in UNICEF also shared the fun and the hope instilled today here in the classroom with children who were part of it. Uh, the time and enthusiasm our celebrity advocate Kareena Kapoor Khan has created will go a long way in supporting the reading campaign that UNICEF Maharashtra is working with the government of Maharashtra on, and it will be launched hopefully within a month. And just underlining how important it is for children to read, write, and count. We have seen before and especially after COVID that the studies have shown us that children are not adequately learning to read and write and count as for their age and for their grades. So that is why this is reading is so important, and that is what we want to underline. And this is going to tremendously contribute, help the learning recovery that we have been facing, especially through the pandemic. I, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of UNICEF India, I would like to extend our, thanks, heartfelt thanks to you for not only today, for all that you have done for, with UNICEF India and for children in the last several years. And we really look forward to have many more years of, your support and your company with us, and the inspiring, your own experience of raising, nurturing, and educating your own young kids, and then transferring the insights and lessons and the experience to benefit and inspire other children, parents, and teachers in the country. I will end with the words of famous Dr. Seuss, who's an American children's author, political cartoonist, and illustrator, and poet, of course. The more you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. So that is the message we want to leave for the children today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jafrin. I'll now welcome Rajeshwari Chandrasekhar, who's Chief UNICEF Maharashtra, to just set the context about the reading movement and why we all are here today. Rajesh.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. And a big thanks to Kareena also, who's sitting on my right. The start of the campaign starts with somebody who's... Can you hear me? Yes. So the start of a campaign always starts with a passion. Without passion, a campaign doesn't move. And why do we have this reading movement here in Maharashtra? Zafrin has just told you the context at the national level. Kareena saw it for herself with the children in the school that we have come here today, the enthusiasm and the passion of the teachers in teaching and of the child to learn and of the child to ask questions of Kareena. I think this is what denotes the start of a foundation of learning. It's a journey which starts young. You cannot crack it at the age when you become a grandmother or a grandfather. It has to start young, and this is part of the Government of India's campaign of foundational literacy and numeracy, which is where Maharashtra is now starting the reading campaign. I think all of us, when we get up every day, we do have something to read. Either it's a news item or a WhatsApp message, but we have now learned to read because we started reading for joy when we were young. We were told stories. We were told from Amar Chitra Katha and Panchatantra, like Kareena was mentioning. Those have been still inscribed in our minds. And today, we no more read for fun, we read for learning. But if you don't have that environment at home, then you have to start from the scratch, and that is the foundation for learning. In this state, while we have good schools, good infrastructure, we also have the National Achievement Survey done in all the states, and the data for Maharashtra is telling us that 3 out of every 10 children who are in grade 3 cannot read and write a simple book of grade 3. 4 out of 10 children of grade 5 cannot read and write a book of grade 5. And as the grades increase, the percentages only worsen. It does tell us that there is something missing, and that missing is the joy of learning, the joy of reading. So that is why UNICEF Maharashtra has embarked upon the reading campaign with the hashtag Every Child Reads. And April 23rd marks the World Reading Day. That is when we would like to launch this campaign with the government of Maharashtra and get in not just the education department, not just get in media, not just get in celebrities, but it should become each and every person's duty to contribute to the reading campaign, because we all either have children or we interact with children. We see children on the streets. If the sustainable development goal is about leaving no one behind, then we have to ensure that every child in Maharashtra reads, gets access to libraries, gets access to storybooks, and therefore improves his or her joy of reading, which then starts transitioning into reading to learn. They have to first learn to read, then they will transition into read to learn. I think this is the context in which we will launch this campaign next month, but this is like a precursor, having Kareena with us, and actually saying it from a very experienced mother of 2 children who says how important it is to read and to read stories to them. So all it requires, actually, scientific evidence says 15 minutes of your time reading to a child is good enough for the child's psychosocial development. That's what it needs. You can provide the best of services in terms of health, nutrition, schooling, clothes, uniform, but if you don't spend that me time with that child, then that child is not going to become a future prominent citizen of this country. If you have to invest in tomorrow, we have to start today. And that's why this reading campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajeshwari. Now we'll have Kareena, speaking to all of you and addressing on this.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming here. Thank you to UNICEF and to Mitha Nagar Municipal School for having me here today to experience. क्योंकि जो आज मैंने देखा खुद अपनी आँखों से, आई थिंक कभी हमने सोचा नहीं था कि मैं यहाँ आऊँगी, बच्चों के साथ इंटरैक्ट करूँगी, उनसे बातें करूँगी और उनकी खुद की कहानी सुनूंगी कि what they actually feel. Today I'm actually here not as a celebrity but as a mother first and then a UNICEF celebrity advocate. I have been working with UNICEF for almost a decade now and काफ़ी कुछ campaigns किए हमने education के बारे में, learning के बारे में. But I think this campaign was truly special when they came up with this thought that I should come and visit and come here and experience it myself. I thought that I must come to see as a mother, not as a celebrity, as a star. जब हम बच्चों के साथ बैठ रहे थे, I think I was actually surprised to see कि जिस brightness, जिस alertness, जिस fluency कि they were talking to me, they were telling me stories. पहली सवाल मैंने पूछा कि you all tell me stories क्योंकि मैं सुनना चाहती थी कि how do they communicate when they are talking to me. Me asking them questions, of course, is very easy, but for them to be confident to tell me and share their stories, कि what books have they read, what stories do they remember, is a very, very different thought altogether, very different experience. I have to say that I am absolutely overwhelmed and surprised by that. I knew that they would be very good, they would be bright. But सबने कहा कि books पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, English में पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, science पढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, लिखना अच्छा लगता है. क्योंकि बचपन में लिखना, maths करना और किताबें पढ़ना बहुत बहुत ज़रूरी है हमारे लिए. That is what is going to lay the foundation. Foundational learning is going to, it is our future. It is going to help them grow and become what they are. जब मैंने पूछा सबसे कि क्या बनना है बड़े होकर, सबने कहा आईएएस ऑफिसर, आर्मी में ज्वाइन करना है, साइंटिस्ट बनना है, डेंटिस्ट बनना है. ऑफ कोर्स किसी ने नहीं कहा कि फिल्म स्टार बनना है, क्योंकि कभी किसी ने सोचा नहीं. मुझे भी नहीं बनना था. आई ऑल्सो वाज लाइक नहीं, मैं होस्टेस बनूंगी, मैं लॉयर बनूंगी. एंड दैट्स वो जर्नी वैसे शुरू होती है. बट आई एम सो हैप्पी दैट सबके आंसर्स ऐसे थे. सबके आंसर्स वर लाइक they just wanted to, unki jo energy thi, and they had that joy in their eyes because they are reading, they are learning. And I have to give credit to the BMC कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने सब्जेक्ट्स चूज़ किए, टीचर्स चूज़ किए हैं, जिस तरह से प्रोफेशनल्स को चूज़ किए, सब्जेक्ट्स, एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़. मैंने आज खुद सुना, कल्पना उम्रे बीट ऑफिसर से, मैं उनसे बात कर रही थी, टीचर से बात कर रही थी, यहाँ से मीठा नगर टीचर्स से, स्कूल टीचर्स से, हेडमास्टर से, एंड दे वर टेलिंग मी द काइंड ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ एंड टाइम दैट दे आर गिविंग टू देयर चिल्ड्रन. स्पोर्ट्स हो, आई वॉज वेरी actually very like amazed by the fact that they are teaching them carpentry, they are teaching women also carpentry, they are teaching the girls self defense. 6 to 8 age group mein they're teaching them self defense. These are the extracurricular activities that now children have interest in. And all this knowledge comes from only one part, is when they are taught how to read with understanding. रीडिंग, बचपन में जब हमें किताब उठाना है, बुक खोलना है, कहानियाँ सुननी है, कहानियाँ पढ़नी है, that is when you have the knowledge to explore your mind, learn things, do extracurricular activities. It could be reading for that matter. मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि बुक पढ़ना सिर्फ इंग्लिश में नहीं, अपने मदर टंग में होना चाहिए. अपने बच्चों को सिखाएं कि चाहे वो हिंदी में हो, गुजराती में हो, मराठी में, कोई भी लोकल लैंग्वेज. यहाँ जो हमारे टीचर्स मीठा नगर स्कूल के हैं, उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि दे हैव कन्नड़ा, तमिल, तेलुगु, ऑल लैंग्वेजेस. चिल्ड्रन आर रीडिंग in their language of comfort, in their language of choice and understanding. ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है, बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि हम अपने बच्चों को सिखाएं कि they must enjoy reading in their language for better understanding. And I'm so happy that I have this opportunity to explain to all of you all and encourage you all to join me in this campaign of Every Child Reading for foundational learning. I'm so happy that media has taken the time कि आप आएं, so that you all can also spread this word of every child reading. Not just, of course, schools में तो environment बनता ही है, definitely. When we have the environment, हमारे teachers classes में encourage करते हैं पढ़ने के लिए, library time में encourage करते हैं. But we must encourage this at home also. क्योंकि मैं 2 बच्चों की माँ हूँ, मुझे पता है कि मैं कितना encourage करती हूँ. वो बेड टाइम की जो कहानी होती है कि जो तैमूर और जे सुनते हैं आज भी, तैमूर खास करके, क्योंकि अभी ही इज़ इन दैट प्राइमरी ईयर्स ऑफ वांटिंग टू रीड, वांटिंग टू शो कि मुझे पढ़ना आता है, कोशिश करना आता है. ही लाइक्स टू डू एंड ही इज़ लविंग रीडिंग, चाहे वो अमर चित्रकथा की कहानी हो, पंचतंत्र की कहानियाँ हो, अकबर बीरबल की कहानियाँ हो. ही इज़ enjoying अलादीन, ही इज़ enjoying all these kind of stories right now. And for me to see and take out वो जो 15-20 मिनट जो वक्त हम लोग निकालते हैं, of course, with our busy schedule, Saif and me, it's always either him or me, we take out that time. That वो पत्थर में लिखा हुआ है कि वो टाइम जो है तैमूर के सोने से पहले कि माँ या बाप को definitely, of course, working parents होते ही, but grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, sisters, friends, anybody. Idea is that to enjoy the time when you're reading also, because that helps explore the child's mind, it opens their horizons. इसलिए आज लोग, ये बच्चे जो मैं मिली थी आज, ये लोग इतने कहानियाँ सुन रहे हैं, बुक्स पढ़ रहे हैं, अपनी भाषा में पढ़ रहे हैं. सब ने इतने अच्छे आंसर्स दी, सब ने कहा कि बड़े होकर मुझे ये करना है, वो करना है. किसी ने कहा कि 2 फ्रेंड्स जो थे, जो मेरे बाजू में बैठे थे, they said me and him, we both will be scientists together. So now that is something, because he's probably reading those books and understanding those stories. So truly, really, very, very grateful to have this opportunity. Thank you for coming to help me also and spread this word in every home, that every parent should give 20 minutes of their time to their child. Thank you to UNICEF for actually taking out and, setting up this whole thing for me to experience. And also to the BMC for the wonderful job that they have actually, because I've seen it with my eyes now, कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने, subjects choose किए. I truly am overwhelmed. So thank you so much for all of you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Kareena. Thank you for supporting every child reading and really making it possible so that every home, this message will go to every house. Now we can take a few questions. So there's Vishal from ANI who can ask questions if you have any. Yeah, yeah, you can, or you can ask. You can keep the mic here. हाँ mic table पे रख दीजिए. That will be better. अच्छा.
When they launch it, that day is like clubbing it with that.
Start. Ma'am, firstly, good to see you. What would you like to say about UNICEF? You have been part of this for a long time. Tell us something. Hashtag every child reading. It is very important. Reading is very important, as you said. Tell us something about it.
नहीं, काफ़ी साल से हम साथ में काम कर रहे हैं यूनिसेफ के साथ, एजुकेशन के बारे में, लर्निंग के बारे में, जैसे मैंने कहा. बट आई थिंक टुडेज़ visit was very very special because of course it is here to promote every child reading. और जिस तरह जैसे मैंने अपनी स्पीच में भी कहा कि डेफिनेटली जो मैंने अपनी आँखों से देखा है कि जिस तरह से स्टोरीज़ और कहानियाँ ने बच्चों को के दिमाग को इतना फ़र्क किया है, द वे दे हैव ब्रॉडन देयर होराइजन्स, जिस तरह से वो लोग बात कर रहे थे, कहानियाँ सुना रहे थे, जिस तरह से उन्होंने आंसर भी किया कि बड़े होकर क्या बनना है. आई वुड क्रेडिट दैट कम्प्लीटली टू the fact that they have been reading in their primary years. They have been given वो एक foundational learning जो है उन्हें दिया जा रहा है लिखने के लिए, मैथ स्किल्स करने के लिए, किताब उठाने, पढ़ना, कहानियाँ पढ़ने के लिए. And I think that is the most important which we must push forward to every child because children are our future.
काफ़ी सारी स्टोरी आज आपने सुनी रहेगी. कोई ऐसी एक स्टोरी अगर आप बताना चाहो जो काफ़ी आपके दिल के करीब वो स्टोरी रहने वाली है.
नहीं, आई थिंक दैट सारे जो बच्चे जो हैं सब ने एक एक कहानी सुनाई कि व्हाट दे लाइक, उनकी जो फेवरेट स्टोरीज़ हैं. और जब मैं कहानी पढ़ रही थी, मैं एक पोएम पढ़ रही थी बच्चों के साथ, एंड इट वाज अबाउट इमोशंस. क्योंकि बच्चे जब पढ़ते हैं बुक, दे एक्चुअली realize that the feeling of empathy, they realize the feeling of emotions, they get into the characters of the books that they're hearing and they start feeling that emotion. क्योंकि मैंने तैमूर के साथ ये मैं एक्सपीरियंस कर रही हूँ. तो एक पोएम थी इमोशंस के बारे में, मैं जब समझा रही थी उस पोएम को, they knew every emotion before that, which was really like amazing for me to see कि the kids already knew that. And I would like to credit that to the teachers who are encouraging them to read, to take out that time. जैसे मैंने कहा अपने अपनी भाषा में, ये नहीं कि इंग्लिश में होनी चाहिए. आई थिंक जो भाषा उन बच्चे को जो घर पे बोलते हैं, जो उन्हें समझ में आता है, वॉट एवर द लोकल लैंग्वेज इज़, they should read in that language. It will help them, guide them and set the future, the tone for the future, I think. जी.
अगर आप घर में माँ, चाची, दादी स्टोरी के फॉर्मेट में they start teaching you, you feel the children
Yeah,
feel like
picking it up.
and
Absolutely,
follow
that's the
along.
joy of reading.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you think that
I think that is completely true. It works wonders. कि actually if you जिस तरह से if you kind of make it into a form कि आप कहानी सुना रहे हैं बैठ के, that whole experience, create that entire environment. I think it kind of encourages them to want to listen or want to read, take their mind to a different imagination. I think kids of today are very bright. They are ready for that. The idea is just कि उनको engage करना पड़ता है, to take out that वक्त निकाल के environment create करके उनको engage करना है. तो जैसे मैंने कहा कि engagement not necessarily has to be in English. It can be in a language that they enjoy, a language that they understand. The idea is to first understand to read. वो एक skill है. तो उसको push करना चाहिए because then they will start once it starts. I know it. I started at a very late age in my life, but I think it just hooks you. So children are very very vulnerable. They are like sponges at this primary age of theirs. Okay, उन्हें जो आप whatever you tell them, they just absorb it. So if you engage them with that story, वो एक habit सा बन जाता है कि रोज शाम को जैसे my child is looking forward to it, like Taimu looks forward to it कि he कभी वो upset हो जाता है if I have to go out at that 8:30 story session time. I can see that hurt in his eyes, that so I also feel bad that then so we try to make up that Saif will read to him, so it becomes into that habit. They are like sponges.
Also, it helps to visualize, visualization.
Completely, it has that whole aspect where they start imagining things. It broadens their horizons. I mean, once you learn to read, then you start reading to learn. That is the moral of the whole. I think the whole idea of the campaign as well. So it's the idea to push them to learn to read first, for them to explore the world. You can actually sit in a small corner of your house and explore the entire world and mind diaspora, and just sitting there while knowing. Okay, so that is why it's the joy. It's literally like maybe time travel sometimes.
Ma'am, hi, my name is Lakshman. First time I'm speaking to any film person and then to other kinds of writing.
Lovely.
Now we have just spoken about child reading and all, but these days technology is just smashing the kids, even tiny 30 months old babies are,
Yeah, scroll. But also COVID has done that to us.
Yeah, COVID.
हमें सबको बर्बाद किया
How
है.
do you make the reading habit interesting for your own children and the children at large?
So of course I think this is a very important question जो आपने अभी मुझे पूछा, because हम अभी जिस वक्त से गुजरे हैं, जो पैंडेमिक हुआ है, कोविड हुआ है हम सबको, आई थिंक उस वक्त हम सब बेचैनी से मर रहे थे. हमें कुछ पता ही नहीं था कि क्या हो रहा है. सेवियर क्या थी? ऑफ कोर्स जिन लोगों को पढ़ने आता था, द अडल्ट्स वर रीडिंग, सम ऑफ देम, बट बाकी जो who did not know anything and who's were impacted were the children, because they did not know. So they all also got into a bad habit of watching, scrolling, doing that, because their school going time was impacted, their learning time was impacted, the skill of teaching them how to read. So it was just a very traumatic, difficult time. But I think now parents must take out the time, and if parents are busy, जैसे मैंने कहा, friends हो, grandparents हो, दादा दादी हो, वक्त निकाले, अपने भाषा में वक्त निकालें पढ़ने के लिए. 15 मिनट 20 मिनट आई थिंक दिन में. बाकी वक्त आप स्क्रॉल करते रहे, स्पॉट खेलते रहे, वो ठीक है, बट वी मस्ट टेक आउट दिस टाइम टू encourage the child to read.
One last question from my side. Please don't get angry.
No,
or
no.
wild. Do you think film celebrities or sports celebrities make better role models, especially in this kind of education-related activity?
So I given the
general perception about the
absolutely, again a very nice valid question. Not at all, I'm not. Not at all. In fact बहुत ही valid question है, क्योंकि आजकल सारे celebrities जो है कुछ ना कुछ cause के लिए बात कर रहे हैं. तो of course ये बहुत ही important question है जो आपने कहा. But I feel every celebrity of course has a voice. But बात करना बोलना ज़रूरी नहीं है. जिस topic पे जिस जो सब्जेक्ट है जिस पे आपके दिल के क्लोज है, जैसे दिस आई फील इज आई एम हियर, जैसे मैंने पहले ही कहा, आई एम नॉट हियर एज अ सेलिब्रिटी. दिस कैंपेन इज क्लोजली रिलेटेड टू चिल्ड्रन रीडिंग, children learning, and I'm here in the form of a mother. So I feel in this campaign to have me associated, or where you feel a celebrity is, you feel that is something that they are probably going through, they are something, probably close to that, can relate to that. Today Tim and Jay are both reading, both understanding. Jay of course is still listening because he's still small, he can't read, but I'm encouraging them in this direction. So when this campaign started by UNICEF, I was like, it was an instant thing that just connected to me, which I felt that if As a mother, I can talk to the audience or the media or people and interact with the children as a mother, not as a celebrity. I'm not talking about my films here. So I think then that would be something that they would relate to. So it has to be something where they feel that connectivity with.
May I add to that?
Yeah.
So UNICEF is 75 years old globally, and in India we will be 75 in shortly, another 2 years. From the beginning, globally and in India, we have engaged the celebrities, our goodwill ambassadors, our celebrity advocates, our champions who are famous, and it has brought tremendous support and impact and focus on children's issue. So that is why we are so excited to have Kareena for the reading campaign, because it really works. People listen. She's an actor. Whether it's a sports person, people listen because they make the celebrities make the way to people's heart and mind, and the influence is there. So that is why it is so beautiful, this relationship.
Just
No,
a purely academic one.
yeah.
Kareena, we have two questions from Adda.
Ji.
They only here, but they have asked two questions. So the first question is, how do you think the lack of access to books and resources affects children's reading?
Of course it does. I think that the accessibility to that, that's why, nowadays there are so many of these drives, there are so many donation camps where old books, people who have, the resources to get the books to read to their children. I donate to a drive all the old books because we have so many. I mean, जैसे मैंने पहले भी कहा था teachers को that I feel I live in a library because my husband actually preserves his books. He's kept his books. His mum has kept all his books that he would read as a child or she would read to him. So I think that is the value that we have for, and hopefully my children are seeing that and getting that. So for us to give a book also as a present or donate it to people who are less vulnerable, it's a very, very big thing because that is, it's a treasure. So we would like to be involved in so many of these drives, and that's how people will get the resources and the access to, reading to books in the lesser vulnerable homes.
Thank you. The second question is, do you believe reading can help developing empathy and understanding of different perspectives in children?
I think it's, like I said, that I started very late. And of course, I started because Saif also pointed me in the direction of, um, engaging myself and engaging my mind through the pages of a book. So I definitely think that it allows you to grow in a very, very special way because it allows the imagination and your mind to kind of, feel for those characters and think. Like I said, that many teachers ko bhi bataya that Taimur is reading all the Amar Chitra Kathas and he's so excited about listening and reading to them that he wants to enact the parts now. He feels that now he can do that. So it's led to his mind in terms of realizing that, okay, like I love this story, I'm engaged in this story, so now I want to maybe do drama about it. So somewhere it does help, I mean, it is probably the most important tool, to the mind.
So, PBI, is there any question from PBI basically? We can take one more question if that's. Then we'll conclude the press meet here. Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us and being part
Thank
of
you.
this
Hello.
program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Making a celebrity for the first time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sure, sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.